Hello and welcome to another interesting episode of Customs Duty, brought to you by the Nigeria Customs Service. Nigeria Customs Service holds 5-day leadership retreat for newly promoted controllers. Nigeria Customs Technical and Hangar Services holds Maiden annual general meeting, commit to enhancing aviation sector growth. We'll also bring to you other reports alongside the usual Customs Hub segment, where we get you informed on activities that relate to import and excise duty collection for the week. I am Tosi Obiakeme. Thank you for joining us. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Commitment of the Nigeria Customs Service to enhancing its operations through training and retraining of officers with the view to widening their horizon is on display yet again as the service brings together newly promoted comptrollers to a 5-day leadership retreat. The aim is to equip them with the necessary skills for effective service delivery as part of efforts to enhance their performances, more so that they have attained this level of elevation in the service. The 5-day event has seen papers presented by varying resource persons on varying topics. The Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeni, MFR, who declares the retreat open, uses the medium to admonish the participants.
I want to enjoin you to learn every responsibility, the obligation of a controller, and make sure you discharge them honorably. You have the obligation of leadership, because wherever you are either going to be leading a command, a unit, or you are going to be directing a particular project, and you have the obligation of leadership. And as a leader, there are so many things on your head. You have to show leadership by example. You have to be disciplined. You have to carry all your members, the members of your team along. You have to be interested in their welfare, what happens to them. You will be required to carry out training program, capacity building programs. So it is a very big responsibility. And more importantly, you will be the crucial bridge between those officers who are still operating at the tactical and operational level and the top management of the service. Challenge yourself, initiate discussions, provoke initiatives, bring up new initiatives that you think would take Nigeria Customs to the next level.
He tasks the newly promoted comptrollers on contributing to achieving a better customs service that caters better for the citizens.
Let us try and make more positive impact. And that's why I have deliberately established a corporate social responsibility unit. Customs needs to show presence. We now need to begin to do what will be more endearing, what will be more sustainable for our society.
Delivering a lecture titled The Strategic Environment and Effective Service Delivery in the Nigeria Customs Service, Bashir Adeni touches on a number of areas, including the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfTA. He emphasizes the importance of rules of origin.
The rules of origin that we use in Nigeria, we must harmonize it with that of Ghana, for example, or South Africa, or Tanzania, or Uganda. People that are going to import from us. So about 5 months ago, no, maybe actually about 4, we launched the GTI, the Guided Trade Initiatives, under which we can participate in exports of goods under AfTA. And there were these bags. One of the companies that were brought into that scheme was an SME in Nigeria. And this woman does very nice bags. And we picked her to pioneer the GTI initiative. And those things, when they got to Kenya, we had issues with Kenya. Customs in Nigeria allowed it to pass. But then when it got to Kenya, there were issues. The same thing with flowers that were sent from Kenya to Rwanda. When it got to Rwanda, the customs authorities in Rwanda say, oh, we didn't have understanding on the rules of origin of these farms. We never knew whether they were actually grown in Kenya before they brought it. It was the same reason that Kenya used that they denied entry for those bags that were done in Nigeria. Because according to them, the bags look so fine, they thought that possibly somebody bought them from China and is trying to introduce them to Kenya. So the principles of rules of origins, all the procedures must be harmonized.
As he delivers a lecture titled Stakeholder Management, Media Relations and Employee Engagement, Customs National Public Relations Officer, Assistant Comptroller Abdullahi Mewada, highlights the presence of multi-layer of actors who expect their needs to be prioritized. He gives an insight into how to handle the stakeholders.
First thing you do is to map your stakeholders. Who are my stakeholders? Who have any critical role to do with my own operations? So you need to map out your stakeholders. You need to know who is your primary stakeholder, who is your secondary stakeholders, and identify them, engage them. Practically, it is best to outline them as above, since they are all equally important in real life situation. Because of these loads of expectations from many sides, we become the bridge stretching across these varied interests. A friend of all, an enemy of none. As an area controller, you are supposed to be a friend of all, an enemy of none.
Abdullahi Mewada views success in handling internal stakeholders as the first major administrative success, while emphasizing the need for capacity building. The Customs National Public Relations Officer urges the comptrollers to proactively deal with the media and the public, ensuring that information about customs activities is communicated clearly and accurately. Topics on which lectures have been delivered during the retreat include team building, illegal trade on wildlife and endangered species, integrity and transparency, as well as customs import and export process and procedure, amongst others. The retreat has been organized by Nigeria Customs Service Training and Doctrine Command, TRADO, in collaboration with Human Resources Department of the service. The Nigeria Customs Service Technical and Hangar Services Limited has held its maiden annual general meeting, an occasion which has brought together key stakeholders in the aviation sector, customs, and the public sector logistics industries.
As we gather here today, I am delighted to report that our company has made significant progress over the past year. Despite the teething challenges of transforming the company into a full-fledged business concern, and those posed by the global economic landscape, we have remained resilient and focused on delivering value to our shareholders. Our financial performance has been modestly strong, with notable improvements in revenue growth and operational efficiency. We have also made significant strides in expanding our services and strengthening our partnerships with key stakeholders.
In his remark, the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeni, commends the company's performance while also voicing out the service's expectation.
It is evident that the company has made significant strides in this short period, surpassing its achievements in the preceding year. What is even more important to us is the prospects that the company has. As the majority shareholder, our expectation is that the company will continue to grow as a profit-yielding concern, providing value to our stakeholders and our shareholders. Since the board was inaugurated last year, I've observed great improvements in the operations of the company, in its governance structure, and its overall performance. The leadership and visions have been instrumental in driving this growth, and I therefore commend DCG Elijokun, the chairman, and the entire board for the efforts that they have put. We in the customs expect this company to grow in the trajectory of excellence. I look forward to seeing the companies expand its operations, increase revenue, and create more value for all the stakeholders.
Bashir Adeni outlines areas he feels stakeholders will expect improvement, even though the company is doing well, just as he assures of the Nigeria Customs Service's support.
One, innovation and improvement of our operations in order to stay ahead of competition. Two, to pay attention to issue of corporate governance practices in order to ensure transparency and accountability. And three, we want us to foster strategic partnerships and collaborations to drive our effort at growth and development. I am very confident that the leadership of the company and the support of all the shareholders, this company will continue to thrive and make a meaningful contribution to the national economy. And to support the company operations, I would like to assure the board and management that Nigeria Customs Service will treat the company as an entity that is different from the service, with its own autonomy and independence.
While noting the growth of the Nigeria aviation sector, the Executive Director, Mofi Femi Ogusiendi, stresses the imperativeness of a domestic maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility.
Nigeria's aviation sector has been expanding at an unprecedented pace, with growing air traffic and increasing fleet sizes. However, despite this progress, a significant proportion of aircraft maintenance continues to be conducted overseas. In 2021 alone, Nigeria spent approximately $2.5 billion US on foreign MRO services. This reliance on external facilities results in substantial capital flight, operational inefficiencies, and vulnerabilities that can be mitigated with a robust domestic solution. Establishing a state-of-the-art MRO facility, we can retain much of this economic value within our borders, while positioning Nigeria as a leading aviation hub in West Africa.
He specifically reiterates that having domestic MRO facility will lead to economic growth and foreign exchange conservation, job creation, and skills development, as well as enhanced safety and operational efficiency. He views the support of the Nigeria Customs Service as coming in handy in the success of having domestic MRO facility.
As a key stakeholder in Nigeria's economic infrastructure, the Nigerian Customs Service plays a critical role in ensuring the success of this initiative, and your support will be instrumental in facilitating the seamless importation of specialized aviation equipment and spare parts necessary for MRO operations, implementing policies that encourage investment in aviation infrastructure while ensuring compliance with global safety standards, and strengthening security and regulatory frameworks to streamline the logistics of aircraft maintenance and repair activities. A collaborative effort between MOFI, Ministry of Finance Incorporated, the aviation industry, and the Nigerian Customs Service will create an enabling environment that fosters investment, innovation, and efficiency in this MRO sector.
The annual general meeting remains an avenue for receiving feedbacks and suggestions on the best way forward for the company. The meeting, which sets the stage for long-term plans, among which are upgrading aircraft maintenance facilities, improving ground handling services, and expanding the Nigeria Customs Service's fleet to support customs enforcement operations, did not end without appointing new auditors and reappointed directors by the board. Demonstrating its attachment to its host community and collaborative posture, Ogunwan Command hosts another art festival tagged Art for Economic Development Festival. Delivering the keynote address, the producer of the festival, Dr. Boni Abisogun Botoku, underscores the relevance of the festival.
This festival is not just a celebration of art, but a powerful reminder of the diverse cultural and economic landscapes we navigate together. The aesthetic expressions we will witness reflect the rich tapestry of our trade relationships, and they showcase the creativity and resilience of our local artisans and entrepreneurs.
He speaks about the significance of cross-border trade.
Cross-border trade serves as a lifeblood of our economies, connecting nations and communities, unlocking potential and creating opportunity for collaboration. Cross-border trade matters because it allows us to share our resources, ideas, and innovations. It strengthens our economies by creating jobs, enhancing market access, promoting sustainable development. Moreover, in our interconnected world, efficient and effective border practices are essential for maintaining security and safety for all citizens.
While speaking with the Customs Duty crew, Customs Area Controller Ogunwan Command re-echoes the importance of such a festival.
If you want to teach anybody, I think you find it from the cradle. When we say from the cradle, you catch them young. That is, whatever you tell them is whatever they can make use of. So probably they have been hearing about this or that business. But by the time you tell them the difference between the legitimate and illegitimate business, they take it home and they will carry it and it sounds in their ear and they will help us in sensitizing the public because they are in the larger society. They have other youths that always are with them, so they will tell the youth what is supposed to be, and then those other youth will also disseminate such information. By that, it will go around the whole of the continent, and apart from the continent, and maybe up to the globe.
Comptroller Shoaibu admonishes on the benefits of compliance in trade.
To the entirety of the community and then Nigeria as a whole, that please, we should key into legitimate business, legitimate trade. Because we are talking about cross-border trade. So we look at it. By the time you have any good business, just come to customs. You have the PROs all over as a kind of Savicom seat. They will always sensitize you on what and what not to. Because we have what we call the import and export provision list. The moment you get to customs, they will sensitize you and they tell you what is important and what is not good. So I'm just telling the whole world that even the currency declaration that we always have to, if we are traveling, as a traveling passenger, you have a lot of privileges that you enjoy. But be as it is, you must declare your currency as you are traveling out with it. And as also a coming in passenger, you also have to declare the currency you are coming into the country with, whether be it a foreigner or otherwise. Because that will ensure the trailing or the tracking of currencies that we use all over the world. So we here, as a gateway command, we always want when you come, we have our baggage, declare your currency. We have a form we are going to give to you, then you declare your currency in that form. Whatever it is, nobody is taking your currency out of you, but you have to declare it and you tell us what you have. Then you put it in writing. Nobody is saying it's under the rest or otherwise, but it's a way of doing the legitimate business wherever you find yourself.
The art festival, which has brought together officers of the Nigeria Customs Service, traders, artisans, policymakers, and other citizens, seeks to stimulate discussions on the best way to shape the part for a prosperous future for the Idiroko community, its environs, and the nation at large through legitimate trade. Federal Operations Unit Zone A has continued to intensify enforcement of the law against trade in endangered species and illegal wildlife with enormous success. The most recent of such successes by the unit in that regard is the interception of 4,410 pieces of export-bound donkey skin worth 4.24 billion naira.
It is no gainsaying that the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, that CITES, prohibits trade in vulnerable species with the slaughtering of over 4,000 donkeys and attempt to smuggle them out of the country. CITES, that's Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, which we are signatory, has been violated, and we shall investigate thoroughly to unmask the unscrupulous individuals that are behind this act.
Other items intercepted between 25th December 2024 and 4th December 2025 include 3,031 bags of foreign parboiled rice, 1,378 kg of cannabis sativa, 21 smuggled vehicles, 105 bales of used clothing, and 118 cartons of frozen poultry products. Comptroller Oladeji says his unit, though largely an enforcement one, has also recovered modest revenue within the period under review.
Regular documentation checks and profiling of suspected irregular import documents, the sum of 60,901,598 naira 32 kobo has been collected as revenue through the issuance of demand notices in the last 1 month.
The customs controller encourages legitimate traders.
As for legitimate importers, traders, and authorized economic operators, our doors are open for consultation and collaboration as we intend to re-engineer our trade facilitation system in line with the federal government policy on ease of doing business.
6 suspects have been apprehended in connection with some of the interceptions made by the unit within the period under review. As it continues to demonstrate its commitments to enhancing the health of Nigerians and Nigeria's security, the Nigeria Customs Service has continued to intercept illicit drugs and substances which are capable of undermining the nation's security. One of such seizures is that of 142 parcels of Canadian Loud, a brand of cannabis valued at 290 million naira, intercepted from a passenger.
We do not want these kind of things to enter our society because it will definitely affect our younger ones. It will impact negatively on our economy and also becoming a security risk. And we want to sound a note of warning to those who are engaged in this kind of activities that we are very resolute. We are very determined that these things shall not pass here. Anything that is not in line with our laws is not acceptable here. So those that are planning, those are willing to do what is not right, please stay away from this command. And those who are collaborating with them, we are watching thoroughly. We are watching to see. We are watching to know where you are operating from. And we will not relent to ensure that we will come after you.
In line with the Comptroller General of Customs policy of collaboration, Comptroller F. Young Harrison hands over the seized drugs to National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, hence the response.
Say thank you so much to Comptroller and his own team for this marvelous seizure. And what also interests us is because there is a suspect attached to the seizure. This is a typical display of synergy existing between agencies here at Murtala Mohammed International Airport. Let me say thank you so much for this effort and thank you so much for doing the needful. Let me also use this opportunity to assure you that we will definitely investigate and unravel each and every individual that is responsible for this. We know it has been happening and we have been unraveling syndicates that are responsible for drug trafficking in this airport. So at the same time, we will do the same thing here. And by special grace of God, whatever the outcome is, you will be informed.
The suspect, alongside his passport, has also been handed over to NDLEA.
Hello and welcome to the segment Customs Hub on Customs Duty. This is a segment that summarizes some of the activities of the Nigeria Customs Service regarding weekly revenue generation and other related matters. We take a look at the total number of pre-arrival assessment reports issued and revenue collected from Friday 17th of February 2025 to Thursday 21st of February 2025. The total amount of pre-arrival assessment report, also known as PAR, issued for the week amounts to 4,814. The Nigeria Customs Service also generated 102,329,629,906 naira 81 kobo in revenue for the week. In another development, the Nigeria Customs Service collected the sum of 456,626,849 naira 81 kobo from excise duty. That is all for the segment Customs Hub.
This is where we draw the curtains on this week's episode of Customs Duty. For more information, you can always follow us on our social media handles now being displayed on your screen. You could also visit our website at www.customs.gov.ng for more updates about the service. Strive to be a patriotic citizen, a compliant trader, avoid smuggling, and always pay the correct duty to make Nigeria a more prosperous nation. See you same time next week. I am Tosi Obiakeme. Thank you for watching.